think quantum's going to hold its move today because the Microsoft news is it's either fake or it's really bad for the quantum players because the topological qubits have theoretically very good error rates because they're very hard to topologically transform. Theoretically, Microsoft could scale their chip very easily, but obviously it's an easy thing to say and it's a harder thing to do. And there are a lot of questions about what they did. So the best case scenario is that the Microsoft news is completely fake and never happened. If it is real, the ion trap, neutral atom, and transmon superconductor approaches are kind of dead in the water. So the logic of it is bad, but there's not been a lot of logic in this space regardless, right? I mean, if you look at QMCO, tape drive company is up because it's called quantum. So, we're not, fundamentals are kind of not the rational thing here. So, yeah, Alibaba's up a bunch. Yeah, I didn't know Herbalife was still around. I already covered my hymns in Carvana, mostly just so I can go to war with quantum again. Oh, look, Fartcoin's up 35 cents. Up to 35 cents from 30 cents. Second win for Fartcoin. All right, let's look at most. Okay, we got Alibaba, number one by volume. Good quarter, I suppose. Rigetti, number two. So the Microsoft news got people pumping again. Palantir, number three. A concern there that the government's going to cut defense spending, which isn't 100% linked to Palantir, by the way, so a little weird. But again, same concept as Rigetti, but the other way around. IQIYI, this is a Chinese video thing. It's kind of been trading a lot lately. Walmart, Supermicro, D-Wave, all kind of what you'd expect to be on this list. Nebius reported kind of a crowded stock. Bank of America, HashiCorp Corp, Arcus, Grab, Unity, NVIDIA. Looks like Unity might have had a good quarter, up 10%, 11%. Big Bear, which is down in sympathy with Palantir, 𝗕𝗏𝗄𝗅, Bilibili, VNet Group, don't know them, Intel, Paragon 28, don't know them. QUBT is trading. This is kind of a fraudulent fake company, so a little surprising here that they're seeing some huge volume there. Inari Medical, MedTech, NEO, that's the electric car company, a bank, and Frontier Communications. So those are the most active by volume. Again, volume isn't that important because the stock price can vary widely. So let's look at the gainers. Herbalife, number one, up 28%. Something called China Yuchai, which I don't know, the same VNet we just mentioned. Amplitude, don't know Amplitude. I'm curious, this is a great way to learn new stocks, by the way. Sometimes you just, consumer analytics thing. Clearwater Analytics, again, same question. What are these guys? Oh, interesting. It's a little SaaS company I should be following these guys. FTAI Aviation, isn't that the short that Muddy Waters was on? GDS Holdings, Radio Farm Theranostics. That's another relatively large company, 2.5 billion market cap I should be following. What is GDS? Is that data centers? But Shake Shack, up 13%. Dream Finders Homes, up 13%. Gate Capital 7. Mr. Car Wash, which was trading yesterday. Maze Therapeutics, remember these guys were private. Kingsoft, been trading a bit. Diamond Rock Hospitality, Ocular Therapeutics, Bilibili, Constellium, Rigetti up 10% now. Alight, Donegal, Springworks, and Farmland Partners. Let's look at the losers. Indivior, these guys make Suboxone. Studio City International, Jumia, Talkspace, Vimeo, Nice, Lotus Technologies, Lavoro, Trupanion, all down 10%. IQIYI, Clavio, are they public? That's interesting. Pagaya, Bio, Rad, and Enviri, Aegon, Ardalex, biotech company, Nebius, like I said, kind of a crowded long, ACV Auctions, an eco-tanker company, old school Lamar, billboard company, Big Bear, we mentioned earlier, Xenon, and Zegna, all down today. Okay, by volume, Alibaba's traded $2 billion, Berkshire $1 billion, Palantir $1 billion, Walmart, NVIDIA, Tesla around $500 million, Supermicro, Meta, Bank of America, all large caps, except for Supermicro. Well, I guess Supermicro is not a small cap. Nebius, again, trading lower today, about $250 million traded. Exxon, Microsoft, 𝗕𝗏𝗄𝗃 trading quite a bit. IBM, Chevron, Monday.com, really interesting company. Viewer of the stream, if I'm not mistaken, the founders. Inari Medical, HashiCorp, and there's Rigetti, who's trading $140 million today. It's a $2 billion market cap, but it's traded $140 million today. Remember, this company has almost no revenue. MicroStrategy also in there. Unity, 100 mil. Carvana from last night, it's only traded about 100 mil, which is surprising for such a noteworthy stock who reported earnings. The earnings I thought were pretty decent, but obviously this is a $30 billion company, so if they don't blow out earnings, it sort of will drop. They didn't quite blow out earnings, but I nibbled on it a little bit and it just fell so quickly. But it's recovered most of its losses. JP Morgan, Amazon, and Amex, so all large caps, trade some volume, but as we approach 9:30, the volume soars. The value traded is something I look at pretty closely. And again, using Godel, you can say, okay, I just want to look at the value traded just for healthcare. And you can see it looks a little different. But when the market's open, these are really fun to look at. And you could also look at, say, max market cap or minimum market cap. So if you're looking for new stocks to trade, I always use the most tool to try to do that. Okay, so we are going to look at a couple stocks. Have to look at. I know, people are really interested in Alibaba. Very supportive. One of my friends, this is his biggest investment. These have been, pretty intriguing companies that are like long-term, very cheap, but you have to be willing to hold these stocks for years because relationship with China normalizing is not something you can count on. Like over the long run, you could probably count on it. I mean, as time goes on, nations sort of stabilize, they get bigger, they get more diplomatic, they don't hopefully go too crazy. China's a little hard to trust, but with this price, you kind of are getting paid to try to trust it quite a bit. So you're not paying a China premium, you're getting a China discount. I want to quickly look at this IREN, QNTM. This is like some really fraudulent small cap. Okay, let's look at Tesla. We looked at Tesla the other day, sort of from a sum of the parts valuation perspective. Sort of this big bet on Elon. How much confidence do you have in Elon Musk? Which, obviously, no matter if you love him or hate him, the guy's extremely capable entrepreneur, if not the best ever. Now, some people are short and disagree. Some people I've talked to people that really don't like Elon. I don't get it. But, there's sometimes when you're short, and this includes with quantum, you tend to look at everything negatively, no matter what it is, even something objectively positive. You say, here, this is why it's negative. And, you shouldn't do that because it's not really intellectually honest and it'll tend to lead to losses. So let's see if we can't update some financials, see if we can't just get a little closer to the story. When you're really following stock as an analyst, you have to live it and breathe it. And that's really hard to do as a generalist. It's easier to do as an industry specialist. So if you're an automobile industry specialist, all you're doing is looking at cars all day, and that's a smart thing to do because, Citadel might hire you and say, oh, you're a really great auto specialist. Maybe the SEC's often down. That could be it. It actually could be, something's going wrong here. Well, let's read it from the SEC website at the very least. Yeah, the thing about what I do here is I do what I want to do, not what you guys want to do. Unless you're a Godel customer, in which case then I do what you want to do. But I can't do it all at the same time. Oh, there goes Palantir dropping into the open. Yeah, D-Wave is really good. Short. I mean, this is a company that's barely legitimate. Let's say holy moly or something like that, unless something just changed. It's been up 10% all day. Yeah, I covered HIMS possibly prematurely, and I sold my Carvana prematurely. But yeah, yesterday we started shorting momentum, assuming that there's going to be a contagion in momentum. Palantir's down. If there really is a contagion in momentum, quantum will be down too. Yeah, Rigetti has no revenue though. QUBT is a fraud. I mean, just a complete fraud, right? LAES is complete fraud. But the market caps are a little different. liquidity profile is a little different. Microsoft has been in quantum for a long time. In fact, they had a big controversy around their technology several years ago. And this is supposed to the idea behind this news was that it clears the air for that tech. Because they had a kind of issue, and now this is supposed to be okay, yeah, we were right. We proved it was right. Yeah, the Rigetti and QUBT market caps are kind of small relative to IonQ, at least. SPX 6900. D-Wave's 2.2 billion. Yeah, insane for a company with no revenue and no growth. Nobody uses those boxes for anything useful. People, they're curious. If you're like me, you hear quantum computing, that's an interesting thing. What a cool toy. I want to try that. There are two kinds of people in life. People who walk by a Chevy Corvette with the hood open, looking at the engine, saying, wow, look at that. That's really nice. And somebody that walks by a huge NMR, $2-3 million NMR machine, 10 Tesla magnet there. The induction coils, you got, somebody who's, anytime guys see really nice, cool equipment, they love it. This is really expensive, really powerful. Quantum works the same way. Every tech guy in the world is just, who wouldn't want to try a quantum computer? Is it a business? Imagine being the CEO of Microsoft. I would tell you guys to build one just so I could play with it. If I was the CEO of Microsoft, I'd be like, I want you guys to work on matter teleportation. I want you to transport my cat across the room, teleport him. Sir, we can't teleport your cat across the room. Yes, you can. Work on it. It's not so much a tax write-off. It's, they get to do R&D. R&D is the lifeblood of industrial work. I'm only short a couple quantum stocks. Those are all my positions. Yeah, there's no obvious place for quantum. Obviously, the companies. Okay, we're opening right now. Palantir down to $102. I'm just selling some calls that I bought the other day when they dropped a lot. I'm always trading this stuff. Ultimately, you're fighting the theta burn, so you have to constantly be adjusting these positions. I hear you, Boaz. That happens so often. I barely avoided that myself. But, that discipline does save you in the end. So, Rigetti 11 calls. I got, a big slug of these. And, the fact that you can get them for 75 cents is wild. They're 47 cents in the money. So, you have until basically 2 full days. Those are almost a buy. Much as I don't like Rigetti. Yeah, I think both IonQ and Rigetti's earnings and D-Wave's earnings will be relevant. All three of them. D-Wave's saying quantum is now. They're taking big ads out saying quantum is now. The Wall Street Journal. You're saying quantum is now and you don't have good revenue, good earnings, then with QUBT almost down, IonQ almost down. See, what more do you want from a stock that you're short other than some vol that lets you, play around with it, and then also some downside? As long as it's kind of pointing in the down direction, I'll take a little vol. I'm never delta neutral. Never.
Order cancelled.
Yeah.
Order partially.
Catch me delta neutral. Yeah, this, this sort of, I was mentioning earlier that, you suck in all the kind of suckers, at the top, and now they all feel stupid for having owned it. Imagine buying Rigetti at $12 this morning because you read a headline about quantum computing. My job is to build software. I'm not really here to be a hedge fund, and I felt like over the last few weeks, I started to basically become a personal hedge fund, and I just don't want to be staying up at night looking at portfolios that focused on that. I have to sort of make a decision as to what I want to do. And as much as I want to trade and invest, I'm not a hedge fund manager anymore, and I don't want to be one. So my job is to make software and sell software. That's my main. I started getting very into trading, and by the time I realized it in January, I'm sitting there with my girlfriend and have my laptop next to me, my girlfriend on the right of me, my laptop to the left of me. And I'm looking at the laptop every, hour, waking up, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., looking at the laptop. That's not my, I did that already. That's not my career. I do want to, Oh no, I'm always going to be investing, but I don't want to be like that. Well, there was Sava, and then there was Galt, and we're going to still do more biotech shorts. We're going to make a ton of money on a few of these this year. AVXL, there's IMNB. There's a bunch of biotechs kind of coming up that'll be really good shorts. 𝗍𝗡 didn't break the law. I don't think 𝗍𝗡 ever broke the law. Oh yeah, Josh. I mean, I know how to succeed, and I could succeed in trading if I wanted to. I just don't know that that's what I want. You know, there's a process to doing that, and you know, I was in the hedge fund industry for a long time. Oh, IonQ is down. Oof. S&P is down 40 basis points. Let's go. Yeah, we published a bunch of better versions of Daraprim. We published the first crystal structure of Daraprim, co-crystallized with T-Gandhi DHFR. And yeah, we published in JMedChem new DHFR inhibitors. Yeah, I was trying to sell as many of these calls as I could. My broker didn't love the idea. Talking about margin. Talking about, you're already levered, sir. Talking about, sir, do we have to restrain you, sir? I'm just trying to sell these calls.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, we're going to look at the Tesla 10K and the Tesla 10Q. You know, if you really want to be a great investor, get a printer, okay? Buy a bunch of ink and a bunch of paper. It's going to be expensive. It's not that bad. Or if you're in an office and you can use their supplies, I would never suggest you waste precious supplies, but just go print the Tesla 10K, all 100 pages of it, and just read it. And do one of these every day. Every day, do the largest market cap stock and go down. You'll follow 365 stocks. You'll know 365 stocks really well. Is toner cheap these days? I didn't know that. Used to be expensive as hell. HIM's down. Palantir down. You know, we had the instant reaction yesterday. We were the quickest gun in the West. You guys were awesome. I was like acting like I was on the trading desk. It's like, what's been up lately? Give me some stocks. I just started shorting them. Boom, boom, boom. Hitting them off. You guys were great. We shorted HIMs. Now the market's reacting. Now, and as soon as Palantir was down, we were shorting this stuff. Morning. I don't know, Kaylin. I mean, I think we're in a position where I don't think traders, like in Japan, this is pretty common. That's why I like trading Japan. Like they'll react to the news like
order filled
6 hours later, a day later. They don't care. It's a great market. There aren't people like you and me in those markets, fiending for profits, just dripping sweat, looking for the next trade. Give me 30. All I need is 30 seconds ahead of the market. No. I like it. There's plenty of longs, man. There's plenty of longs. We bought IVVD and it doubled. You guys forget, man. You forget about the longs because it's just such easy money. Such quick, beautiful, easy money. But, you know, we got plenty of doesn't work out. I mean, look at Intilia, look at VKTX. I mean, we got longs, dog. Merck, Amgen, Lilly. We done slanged every stock in the S&P, bro. Chegg. Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, when you're a gunslinger, you're a gunslinger. You got to live and die by the gun. Protect yourself at all times, number one. Number two, you know, never complain or blame anybody but yourself. You know, these are the rules, man. They're so elemental. We don't even have to say it. You just know it. But yeah, HIM's down. Again, you know, the instinct from yesterday came from my old days with Jim Cramer, just watching him trade. Palantir's down. It's getting smoked. You know, the rookie trader says, well, Palantir's down because, you know, the federal government's going to shrink and Doge might cut expenses and Palantir, that's Palantir's money, so that's bad for Palantir. Look, we all knew that the day Elon started Doge, you should have been worried about that for Palantir. That wasn't the problem. Everybody knew that. The problem was somebody on Wall Street panicked. Somebody said, you know what? I'm up a lot on this Palantir. Things are looking a little shaky out there. I'm going to sell it. I need to move 5 million shares of Palantir right now, right? So the reason for him moving to Palantir is whatever. But the point is, the same story exists with Carvana, with HIMS, with, you guys gave me a nice list yesterday. With all these stocks, even DJT, MicroStrategy, stocks are up a lot. Guys are up big on these trades. BBAI. Somebody was dissing me on BBAI the other day. I wonder how they're feeling today. Even Madrigal, is a good example of this. Anything that's been up a lot and people want to protect their profits and sell, they're going to do that to the other stocks too. So you have to go hit the other stocks before the shareholders hit them. There's a guy at Fidelity to say he's not even overweight Palantir, but he sees his boy, he doesn't even follow the stock, okay? But he sees his boy down the hall shouting about Palantir dropping 10%. Fidelity owns $5 billion of Palantir. He just lost $500 million in 20 minutes. He's looking at his portfolio and saying, what do I need to get out of to not have that happen to me? Right? And it's probably something like a HIMS or something like whatever. And he looks at his portfolio and says, all right, you know what? Let's sell my HIMS. Let's sell my Dutch Bros. Maybe he's a consumer guy. Let me sell my, what else? What other consumer stocks have been up a bunch? Sell my Celsius. Yeah, it's not been up a bunch. But whatever consumer stocks have been up. And, this is just trading. You want to take advantage. There's an old, I probably shouldn't say this. There's an old guy from 𝗥𝗡𝗏 Capital before it was 0.72, and he worked for Steve Cohen. I think he still might work there. He'd been working there for 20, maybe 25 years. And he had a saying where he said, my job is to predict what the bigger players are going to do. I basically am trying to predict what Fidelity is going to do. Fidelity, is the biggest actively managed fund. And, they basically are buying 5 to 15% of a company at any given time or selling it. And, that's the guy he's trying to play poker with and get in front of. It takes Fidelity 3 days to get in and out of stock. Right? That's why you probably could have shorted Palantir yesterday. And that's also why traders are always trying to get flow on Wall Street. This is why you pay Goldman Sachs. This is why you pay Morgan Stanley. When you trade on Robinhood, you don't get a call from Vlad Tenev that says, thank you for your trade. By the way, Fidelity's selling a bunch of Palantir. Now, they're not allowed to tell you exactly that. So they might say, big mutual fund selling a lot of Palantir. But when I call with 5,000 shares, they say, well, thanks, Martin. Love the farmer, bro. See you later. Hangs up. But when Steve Cohen calls and he's trading 500,000 shares, they'll say, well, by the way, I think a big player's unloading all his HIMS. And then he calls another broker and says, hey, short 1 million HIMS. That's how the game is played or used to be played. Things have changed a lot, but there's still stuff like that still works. And that's, old school trading desk stuff. Being able to surf that, wave of hype is almost impossible. We've tried it here 100 times, right? You see the hype, you see it cresting, almost, okay, sell it. That's what we're always trying to do, right? And there's so many false starts. Yeah, I saw your largest shareholder, Rigetti, basically sold all their Rigetti. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So yeah, it's not insider so long as they don't tell you who it is. It's market flow that they're shopping. And oftentimes that market flow isn't necessarily going to help you trade. Because once the big seller is done, these stocks tend to pop. It cuts back and forth. Yeah, Grok 3 doesn't have much to do with Palantir. It's a bit of a different situation there. I don't know what that stock even is. Artist agent, sorry.